One of the things that happens after an earthquake is when you shake the ground, you agitate you get the dust coming up. And they've had problems with something called valley fever in Southern California post-earthquake. Okay, and that's actually a fungal spore that gets thrown up in the air. So you do. That's the only time they see valley fever is when you have construction going on close by, or you have an earthquake. So creation of dust. So dust in itself is, we want to protect ourselves from it. Again, you folks are going to be doing spontaneous rescues. You're going to have to be moving people who are injured. So how do we do that? Well, we can do things like blanket drags, two-person carries. You use a chair to carry somebody. Improvised stretcher. Okay. When you're doing this, practicing today, it's going to be fairly physical. Know your limitations. Does anyone have any back injuries or? Okay. No, doesn't mean you can't participate. It just means that you need to be aware of when you need to stop, what your limitations are. This also applies to when you actually have to do a rescue. Remember that in this post-earthquake situation, you're going to be out there for 3 days minimum. So you don't want to expend all your energy in the first 24 hours or even the first hour. It's easy to do, so you have to pace yourself. The other thought behind that is that in an actual rescue situation, there are fluid situations. Things change, and they can change very rapidly. So you need to have that reserve, not only physically but mentally also. Okay, so take time, rest. Even the FEMA teams, the max of FEMA team member will be allowed in the field on a particular mission will be 12 hours at a time. They are forced off that particular job at that point, just to keep people fresh, keep them from making mistakes. So as we go throughout the day, and if you end up in a rescue situation in real life, you need to keep that in mind. You have to have a reserve. You have to have a second way out of the situation. Remember, this is a bit of a cultural thing. In our culture here, we tend to stay away from people a bit, give them a little space. So you want to bring that weight, and in this case it's going to be a person. You want them nice and close to you. Okay. When you bend down, we want your butt in, no butts out. Butts in, okay. Weight close in, lift with your legs. You can tighten your stomach muscles. That will help protect your back also. Let's say that we're going to move someone around. One of the easiest ways of doing it is in a chair. What you do is you look around the house and find a nice, sturdy chair. Generally, kitchen chairs work pretty well. Put it on the ground, give it a shake, make sure it's going to do well. What I'm going to do is we get Dale here in a chair. I just put my foot against the leg of the chair, and I'm going to tip it back. Okay. Now, in moving people, we're not used to that as far as victims go or patients go. Okay, so you have to tell them what's going on. You're going to have a loss of control. All right? So you got to let them know what's going on here. So we're going to tell Dale, you're sitting in this nice sturdy chair, and I'm just going to tilt you back a little bit, okay? Just keep your hands in your lap. All right? We won't drop you. We haven't dropped anybody all day.
Not till now.
Okay? So I just lean back, and what you do is...
Shut up, Denise.
Okay, get nice and close. All right? And you're lift the legs of the chair, okay? And we're going to do this on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How's that feel?
Lovely.
Okay. All right. Just move you around a little bit and bring you back. Okay. And we're going to put you down on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's important that you have good teamwork with moving people around. It protects not only the victim, but it protects your partner also.
In this situation, you want to have always want to have one person that's kind of somewhat in charge. If you want to be kind of in charge, Jeannie, just make sure everybody's ready, and when everybody's ready, they can lift on your count. And if someone feels like they're gonna drop or have some real problems, like, hey, I'm losing the grip, just say, hey, we got to set her down, and then set her down because you don't want to drop anybody. Or if someone drops one corner, well, I mean, you may not drop the person, but you may drop one corner. If you drop one corner, it's going to put a lot of extra weight or load on what the rest of the team is working. It could cause an injury. But when you're ready, we can go ahead and lift together here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, up.
There we go. There, you can walk either direction you want. There we go. Doing all right, Marilyn?
Yeah, it was
Just a little nervous? Okay, go ahead and walk back.
ripping sound from the blanket.
There we go.
Picked me up.
You use brains, okay? Work smarter, not harder. Okay, let's get 2 more people to try this. Who wants to do it? Parveen, you're going to be a helper this time.
I'll be a victim.
Nancy's going to be a victim.
I'll be a helper.
You want to be a helper, Kay? All right. So Nancy is down. Now you don't have to lay all the way down this time. That was just to show you how to do that, to bring them up so that both of you are working together as a team. Okay, so one of you is behind.
I can just hold anywhere.
You can, if she can bend her knees, you can have her bend her knees.
Can you bend your knees?
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
so if Nancy can bend her knees,
So
okay.
we're going to count to 3, and then on the 3 we'll be lifting you. Are you
Okay.
ready, Parveen?
Yes, I'm
Legs,
Are you ready?
use your legs,
Yes,
use your
I
legs.
am.
Get your
Okay.
legs underneath you, Parveen. That's it. Use your
Okay.
legs.
1, 2, 3.
Real good. All right. Super. Okay, you set her down now. And like I said, this isn't something you're doing every day. You're doing this because she's unable to get out of a house that's been destroyed by some kind of an earthquake or disaster or something. Okay?
What we're going to do is have Howard lay down on this blanket. Okay. All right. Comfy? Yeah. Okay. And one of the things we can do is we can use this as a drag. Okay. And generally you're going to drag, sorry guys, we're going to drag in the direction of, from his head end, okay, for one person. All right. What I do is I just roll it up a little bit, get a good handhold, all right, and I'm just going to lift slightly. I'm using my leg muscles and we just move them around, okay. The higher you get them, the less friction you'll have on the ground, the further you can go. And of course you have to take into account how slippery the surface is. All right, that's one way, that's probably the easiest way if one person's going to move. What you have to remember though is that you need to keep your back straight and use your legs. What do you guys do when the earth's shaking? Right now, if the building was shaking away, what would you guys do? Duck and cover. Then what? Boy, I only got 2 answers. How many people are here?
Going through Earthquake 101? We check on everybody in our house.
Okay. Generally, and this has been a fairly regular response. We get taught the duck and cover, and then we ask, well, what do you do next? No one says anything. You go outside. How would you guys get out of this building?
Out the door.
Out the door. Which door?
Closest door.
Okay. Generally, what most people do in a disaster is they'll leave the way they came in. Okay? Their normal travel routes. Okay? The longer, and basically what happens, and this is several studies out of Europe, the ground will start shaking. People don't immediately start moving. Okay? They will sit there for a while. They'll do the duck and cover. They'll sit there, they'll analyze the earthquake. Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? There'll be a long, long wait, of course, and then they'll just sit there. Then they'll do the duck and cover, and then they'll start to leave. Okay? And where we find them? We find them in the exit paths of the building. Okay? And it's generally the standard exit path. Let's say, and this is pretty standard across disasters. If we're looking at a 727, you enter the plane, front and back doors, and you sit down in your seat, and the stewardess comes up and says, these are the emergency exit, right? The over-the-wing exits, the front, the back, okay? As far as I know, there's, with all the crashes, or there isn't a lot, but the crashes in 727s, no one has ever used the over-the-wing exits. Even the people who are sitting right there, I mean, they come up and they tap you on the head and they go, this is our emergency exit, push out here. People still don't use it when the plane crashes. They go out the exit they came in. That's what happens. So as a searcher, you need to think about that. How do people get in and out of this building? What are their standard routes of egression in this building? And they'll follow those paths, okay?